can hear a good hold. Sounds like thumper. There are 1,001 clinicians out there that will take you on your feet. How do you throw a guy on his ass? You know, but what you don't get typically is, okay, once he's down there, what do I do with him? And that's usually where I take is my strength. Although I can certainly spend some time on our feet and throws them down, same with doubles and so on. But you know, they're pretty. Here in California, from Azevedo, you know, they're all over the place. You can get the technicians on your feet. It's what do you do after you knock them down to get them down there to turbo? I have 4 hours on the clock, 12, 3, 6, and 9, but I have 2 appendages for. Anything that happens at 3 o'clock is my right arm and right leg. 6 o'clock, both feet. 12 o'clock, both hands. Now, when you wrestle good guys that have been out for a couple of years that are at the 6 or above on a scale of 1 to 10, you can add an hour on either end of that. The good ones, you know, my right arm is now, I can go 11 to 4. I can add an hour here and an hour here. And I got a little bit more range of motion. When you're first learning to wrestle, you only have those 3 hours. And as you get a little better, you learn to cross over into other hours. So there's only, you know, some spots that are weak spots that you want to take advantage of. And that's 10:30 and 1:30. Okay, not 1 and not 2. 1:30, 10:30. Okay, those 2 hours on the clock are paramount to down wrestling. You want to remember 10:30, 1:30. So now, in order to break him down here, typically I want to get a hold of something. I'm either going to chop tight weights, I'm going to pick an ankle up, I'm going to reach across forearm. I'm going to get a hold of something in order to knock a guy down. Basically, you look at it, he's a table. Okay, 4 legs on the ground. If I do a crossface and I pull his arm in, I pull his left arm in, his left arm's responsible between 9 and 12 o'clock. So now I have one arm control. If you cut a leg out of the table, it will not fall over until you put weight on that corner where the leg's gone, and the table will topple. Okay, so just getting a limb up doesn't make the guy fall over, or a table fall over. I want to drive some direction in order to make him fall. If I drove him, since I got his left arm up, his left arm 12 to 9, if I drove at 9 o'clock, he would not fall over because he'll just say, screw you. He'll put his left foot out there, which is responsible also for 9, and I'm not going to take him over. So a side roll, you really don't go to your side on a side roll, which I'll show you in a minute, because you're going at 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock, depending on which side you're going to on a side roll. And you always have a hold of the wrist on a side roll. Well, you don't have a hold of his leg. And his leg can get out at 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock and stop. On the breakdowns here, okay, I got left arm here. I can't take him up at 12 o'clock because I still have his left arm, or his right arm is good for 12 o'clock. And on a good wrestler, he can get over to 11. This foot can go not only to 9 o'clock, but it can go up to 10 o'clock too. But it can't get it up at 10:30. So anytime I got a cross face on a guy, if I'm going to drive him over, I'm going to 10:30. So I want to put my ass over here opposite 10:30 or 4:30. So I just, I rotate around. So cross face here, when I want to drive him down, I'm going to step back here from the right angle over here at 3 o'clock. I want to go over to 4:30, and I'm driving at 10:30. You'll find that he'll go over pretty quickly at 10:30. You take him any other time, he won't. Now, for those, if anybody wants to control, the police guy, and subdue, when you're on top of a guy, if there's one thing that the police don't do when they're down or trying to subdue somebody, is get your weight off your damn knees. Because within 2.85 seconds of any scuffle, it ends up down there. It's not like this up here. And when you get down there, if the policeman, I've seen, you see the tapes of Rodney King and getting crunched and everything, and they're down on the knees, get off your knees and make him carry your weight. Once you get off your knees, all your weight is shifted onto him. He ain't going nowhere. And if you try up one arm, you got him down. Now, if he can still get up, you got one arm tied up, and you got all your weight on him, he still gets up, In wrestling, you're in the wrong weight class, and if it's police, you might want to get the taser out because you got a hold of an animal. You know, if you go, you know, and you get out one arm while you're on top of them. Oh shit, I need backup. You know, but anyhow. So you want to get off your knees. So here we go, 10:30 if I'm on this side. Now, quiz for everybody. What you want to do is drive halfway between the 3 hours you have control. So if I have his left arm, and his left arm is responsible between 9 and 12, halfway is 10:30. I always want to go halfway between the 3 hours that I've got control, or whatever I have control. So a quiz here, if I grab, from here I grab his far ankle and our elbow, what time do I take him at? 9. Because I got 6 to 9 covered. So I can just drive straight over. He's going over. So again, what you have control. Chop, tight waist, what time? Quick. 1:30. 1:30. Now, when you see kids not getting the chop, when they first learn the chop, tight waist, you say 1:30, 1:30, 1:30. When they start getting lazy with it, you'll start seeing them lose their chop, tight waist. What the hell's going on, coach? They start going to 3 o'clock. They start getting cute, see? They start coming down here at 3 o'clock. If he's doing a sit out or a switch and I'm doing this, you know, I get in this position, I'm down here, he's coming up, you know, switch that way. Yeah, but oh shit, and the fight's on. And that's when you start getting lazy. A lazy chop, tight waist guy starts going at 3. What I was trying to do is give you the idea of controlling the limbs and what time do you go at. And so there's some times when you get screwed up in certain positions and you go, oh, I did something from here. On a side roll, I'll show you, jump up, you know what I mean. On the side roll, and I'm trying to just get you the idea of the clock and controlling something. If I reach up and grab his wrist here and I want to do a roll, we screw people up in what we call things in wrestling. You have to reevaluate what we do. We call stand-up. You say, we're going to do a stand-up. A stand-up isn't a stand-up. If you stand up, you're going to get thrown on your nose right away. You go back down, you go. Here's as high as you want to get. But stand up. Down here, in your wrestling stance, the athletic stance. You cut through the wrestling. You don't stand up like you and I are standing up right now, unless you want to go right back down real fast and relatively hard. So a stand-up's not a stand-up. A headlock is not a headlock. You don't wrap your hand around his head. All your damage in a headlock is done with this arm. I don't have to grab his head at all. I can keep my hand free of his head instead of going to the headlock. If you go for a headlock, if you go for his head, then there's a chance that you're going for it of missing. And if you miss it, you ain't going to get it. So you're really not a headlock's not a headlock. A stand-up's not a stand-up. A high crotch is not a high crotch. You don't come up here. It's a low calf. Your high crotches are low, not high, it's low. Why they call it a high crotch? You're screwing the kids up. A side roll is not a side roll. You don't go to your side on a side roll. So we have to evaluate what we call things and analyze. Because your coach taught it to you and his coach taught it to him, don't make it right. Okay? Just because you hand it out. Listen to what you say, how it goes. Side roll. Okay, on a side roll, since I have his right wrist controlled, his right wrist is responsible between 12 and 9. Okay, if I go to my side, I'm going to go to 9, and he's going to get his foot out there as a brace. And I'm not going to get him over. Now, if I throw in an elevator, I may get him over, maybe. But if you want to get it most of the time, not all the time, what time should I go at? 1:30 or 1:30? He landed at 1:30. Now, just like I did, or we're talking about here on riding and subduing, this doesn't hold anybody down. That does. No, yes. You got 2 buns. This is a griddle. Don't burn your buns on the griddle. Get your ass off the bed, boys. Make him carry your weight. If you think about all breakdowns that you know in wrestling that we've talked about, and once you know this principle, then we'll go back and I'll show you how we can use the clock in this get them into a push-up position principle. No matter what you're doing, anything on takedowns down here, riding, hitting, turning a guy, has to do with getting his weight shifted onto his hands and driving him at angles. Typically, if you just remember 10:30, 1:30, you can't go wrong. There may be some examples or alterations to that or exceptions, but for the most part, 10:30, 1:30, you're great, you're golden. So, all breakdowns that you can name or have known to wrestling, starting with a spiral ride, Hand comes in, and it does, the spiral ride is designed to do one thing. Get his weight shifted up where? Onto his hands. Right now, almost all his weight's on his hands. Not only his weight, but my weight. I got a little bit of weight on him, I got a shitload on him now. As soon as I get off my knees, make him carry weight. Get his weight pushed forward. Or pick up an ankle. Pick up an ankle, what's that doing? Shifting his weight forward into a push-up. A chop tight waist. What does that do? It shifts his weight forward. You put legs on somebody and start leaning, you get legs on him here and start arching. He'll tell you his arms just collapse because all the weight's there's no weight on his legs now. So legs, chops, pick up an ankle, spiral ride. All the breakdowns that you know to wrestling are designed to do one thing. Shift his weight forward. When you get his weight onto his hands, you win. But depending on what side I want to do it on, if I put all my weight over here, I'm isolating one shoulder. Now he can't move that arm. I know he's going to move that. So I get my weight over here. As soon as he starts, see what he did? Freeze. Don't move. He pulled his hand here, and it's up in the air. He went from here to here. Wonderful. Okay, took him down, boom, I put my weight on one side, I'm off my knees, making him carry my weight, that pins his shoulder down, isolates him, immobilizes. From here, when he wants to get up, he's going to do that. As soon as he does that, then I can continue the arm that direction, and it's a slap. Bam! I want to continue that arm. I'm waiting for that arm to move. As soon as it moves, I continue. You'll watch, my hand will move with his. From here, as soon as he moves his hand, then I'm scooping it. I'm going with him. I'm going to continue the motion, the momentum that he has taken here, waiting for him to move that arm. As soon as he moves his arm, I follow it. Take the hand, I bang it back, and then I drive my arm through. I don't try to hang onto it here. I try to see how much of an arm that can I get involved here. I want my arm in here if I can. The deeper, the better. The deeper, the better, especially when you got someone that has a set of biceps on. From here, as soon as he pulls back, continue it. And then jam your arm in deep. Don't hold it here to the bar. This is okay. This is great. Get in deep. Okay, now when I'm deep here, we certainly can still run the bars. Now I can start working on this side. Now I got two hands over here. So I'm doing this arm. Instead of having one and one, now I'm having two hands because this is in deep. If this was here, I'm controlling that one-on-one. Again, got your biceps, I might be able to do that. I don't. So I want to use two hands. Over. Now I can come over here, hook, and pull, and start working on my double chins. But I can do something here because I got two hands involved. First thing we're going to learn is how to, when the arm comes back, catch it in deep. Now from here we're going to come out to a right angle and get the hell off our knees again. Okay, now, second thought, I'm going to keep my knees. I don't want to be out of position yet. But deeper you go, the stronger you are. The deeper you go, the stronger you are. Get it in deep. You don't have to do anything with it, just get it in deep. Now he can't get his arm back. Now from here what we're going to do is take our elbow and whack him in the face. He's going to say, what? Okay, elbow over to the head here. We're not going to go bam, although we could in UFC. But anyhow, here, and now all I'm going to do is say, come here. My elbow. His head can't stop doing that. I don't care how strong your neck is. Here, and my elbow's coming back. I'm just bringing the elbow back. See what happens with his head? It starts to turn. As it starts to turn, then my hand will slip underneath, and I'll lock my hands. Once I get my hands locked, I want to put my ear on his side here. I'm going to turn and listen to his chest. Hands here, up front, turn my head down, and listen to his chest. Once I'm here, I get off my knees, and I'm picking his head up. I'm going to drive my chest, my shoulder, into the solar plexus right here. I want all my weight right there on his chest or on his throat as I'm picking his head up. That pins his shoulder down, creates a little bit of discomfort, and if I get a little higher on that, you'll find his breathing kind of slows down a little bit. Anytime you can stop the blood flow to the brain or the oxygen from going through the mouth, down the throat to the lungs, that's a good thing. Lay on the right side. I got all my weight on the right side, so I know he ain't moving that hand. This one's the free one. Instinctively, he'll move that when he does. I catch it, jam it. Catch it, jam it deep. Okay, once I get it deep here, out to the side, elbow to the face, start taking it back. As soon as the head turns, lock, head comes over, ear down to the side of the chest, shoulder in throat, or right at the top here. Anywhere in this region here, and get your ass in the air, make him carry your weight as you're picking that up. Down fighting, you always want to be on top. You never want to give up your height. No matter where he is, you want to be on top.
Okay.
Don't get side by side.
Just for the sake of learning it, I'm trying to pull him this way, and he's close in here, and so I like to take that in. How's that work?
Now you're more parallel. I want you to do your right ankle. All right. All right. Now what you're doing is you're chopping the arm back this way. In.
And you're going there.
Yeah. It buckles it. See, if you chop it straight, if you chop it straight back, it'll go right to his elbow. Boom. And you've only chopped it down. You've shortened the leg of the table.
You chop this towards over here.
You want the whole leg to leave the table. If you chop it back, you chop half the leg off, he drops to here. You really haven't gotten it down. If you go a little bit sideways against the elbow, then the whole arm slides across. The whole arm comes across. Now I've eliminated the table altogether, the leg of the table. So now when he falls, you can fall the whole way down. The table can go forward. Okay. So another little trick that you practice. Don't chop down. Don't chop back. It feels natural to do that, but you can get him down.
Just made it strong.
Yeah, I want to come crossing here. So now he has nothing. But on your MMA, if I want to hit him with the left, either fist, elbow, whatever, drop an elbow on him, this arm is going to stop me from doing that. This arm stops that one. If I'm going to catch him with this, I've got to get that arm over with this one. Now, you can still do that, but it's hard. He's not going to stop my hand, but not my elbow. But I've got to get, if I'm coming in this way to hit him, then I've got to get rid of this arm, because that's his arm of defense that side. Left, right, right. So I have to get that over. So, however you want to chop, change. All right. Most people don't cross over. They just start swinging, and this guy's blocking. It's hard to drop an elbow on him. You've got to get the side of the drafter across with the opposite hand. So his defense is out of there. Drop your elbow. All right. So, with the bar arm, I did that's knocked down. Boom. Yeah, there you go. I got my weight out here. I'm driving my hips and holding them down here. Not only am I holding about the weight on a guy, 180 pounds, but now I'm pushing that weight this way also. I'm trying to push him into the ground a little bit with my feet. So not only am I off my knees, but I'm thrusting my hips like two dogs in a park, kind of, what I'm talking about. Anyhow, so when I'm here, it's kind of an arch. I'm not going to do this too often, guys. You think I'm a different kind of guy. I'm not. But the idea is my hips just are thrusting into here. You don't notice it because it's not so noticeable. I'm not humping him like a dog. But my hips are coming into him. I'm pushing off my feet. And he's feeling maybe 220 pounds instead of 180 what I weigh. Because I'm pushing my hips into him. I'm driving off my toes a little bit. He's feeling a lot more weight. He's carrying more weight than my 180 pounds right now. And now I'm leaning on that one arm, so he's not getting up except for this. And I'm waiting for that. When it comes in, boom. Again, lead in deep. All right. The gentleman I was working with here, he grabbed his belly. And he said, no, you can't get your arm in that deep. Then I had to, if he's going to do that, then I had to step back for a second and jerk him here. And then jam it in. So it's just sometimes, you do it this way, it doesn't work. When you do the technique and it's almost right, but you didn't quite get it, and then it goes into, it don't fit, force it. There's a little bit of a jerking action, jerk, boom, and jam it in. Now, what did you say I did from here? This?
The elbow.
No, I did the elbow.
Under the chin.
The head will turn from there to there. No, but I just used to do my son instead of even doing it. Now, if you don't like the guy, instead of reaching into your lock, as his head starts to turn, then you slide your arm here. So you're coming right along with the two teeth, the sets of teeth come together. So from here, instead of reaching under, I just keep pulling it to here, and then I lock it. So now I've got my forearm, the bony part. Here's your submission type stuff. Lock on here and lead. Now he thinks his jaw's breaking here, right? Yeah, that was a tap out. Anyhow, forearm here, elbow. As soon as it starts coming over, the head starts to turn. Now, on all my weight goes here. All my weight's right there. So from here to here, and I lock my arm, and I lean all my weight on it. And I have my hand under here, too, which helps pull that down. There is a fine line in wrestling between legal and illegal, and a lot of it is the appearance of it. Okay, if I went, bah, and hit him, that's probably going to cost me the point in the match, you know? But if how I did that, if you watch, I can do the same thing. Here's the difference in wrestling that most people don't understand, is here, if I go, it looks like I'm trying to grind the damn thing in and hurt her. That's going to cost me a point. I haven't done anything different than this. But my face looks like I'm not doing anything. It's acting. I'm beating the shit out of them with a smile. If you... The referee will stop me right now. You can see I'm trying to hurt him. Instead of just relaxing and doing the same thing. When I pull him back here, lean here, blow a yawn. It's the facial expressions that when I get bubbles out my nose, you know, snort. It's the appearance of impropriety, the appearance of illegalness. Is most of your bar arms. You get that bar arm, you get so much more. You get that son of a bitch look on your face. You know, then the referee starts going, whoa, wait a minute, this guy's sick, you know, intense. I better stop that. Because it looks like he's trying to hurt the guy, and the referee doesn't want to look bad in front of the crowd. So, the referee will blow the whistle, attention dangerous, or warn you. So it's a lot of times your illegal holds are what they appear to be by how I act. I'm going to spend a little too much time on that one point, but I don't know. It makes the difference. And referees are like rattlesnakes. They always, before they strike, they warn. Watch your arm, watch your arm, watch your arm, Jimmy, watch your arm. They're, watch your arm. When they say watch the arm, they're ready to go, attention dangerous, or illegal, 1 point. Okay, so when they start going, listen, what's he saying? Especially when you got him on his back. He's saying, if you're not paying attention, I'm going to blow the whistle, I'm going to let him off his back, and if you want that, you keep doing what you're doing. That's what they're saying. So when you hear a referee go, watch your arm, watch your arm, watch your arm, even if you know it's perfectly legal, somehow he doesn't think it is, or he wouldn't be saying what he's saying. So you have to listen to the referee and adjust your strategy, your technique, your philosophy to what he's telling you. He's saying, I don't like what the hell you're doing, stud. Cut it out, or I'm going to stop you. And when you already have him on his back, you don't want to do that. You only get a good guy on his back once. And when you get him there, you want to stick him. You know, you're not going to get a second shot at a good guy and put him on his back unless you're really an exceptional wrestler. Well, he's an exceptional dad, so I'm kind of dichotomy of the two. All right, now, so that's one way of getting the arm is just getting your weight on him, push it into him a little bit, make him carry weight. See how the weight changes as I'm moving back and forth? I don't move back and forth. I'm just pushing into him. He has a lot of weight there. See, so I pop it out because I got weight on him and I'm pushing into him. But okay, once I have a chance to get that on, pull it back. Here, I can either jam it in deep, which is, you know, I like to do that. We had a point I made with you earlier about how many things do you learn in wrestling? Well, that's too much bullshit, not enough wrestling here. All right, once I get to the bar arm here, I'll come back and get that piece. Come on over to the side the bar's on. All right, you can either stay on one side or you can come over to the bar side. Now, bars, legal, illegal, potentially dangerous. If you have your hand across the spinal cord, so it's pointing the next with a spinal column, legal. If you're up here toward his head somewhere with your hand, potentially dangerous. They may let it go, they may not let it go. If you have your hand up on his arm here, illegal. Illegal, potentially dangerous, legal. So it depends on how you want to have your hand here. Legal, potentially dangerous, illegal. Okay? So now, the other thing from here, he's going to try to put his hand out there and go, no, you're not taking me over. I also teach with the trees. I don't know if anybody saw my tape. Basically, the body is a tree with limbs on. If you chop a tree down, it falls over and it still has its limbs on, you cannot roll that tree. The limbs are out there. You chop, 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 saw, and make that tree a telephone pole. Now the telephone pole rolls either direction. You've got to get rid of his limbs. He's not going to roll over to his back unless the limbs of the tree are eliminated and he becomes a telephone pole. He wants to be a tree. No. He's putting his limb out here, out of his body. Here's the telephone pole or the tree base. There's the limb. Once the limb's out there, the tree will not roll over until I go chop, 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 saw, and get rid of it. I have my bar arm. What I want to do is, there's a V here, the body. I want to have my whole body up as close as I can into that V, tight into there. On all my half Nelsons and bar arms, I want to have my head directly over his head. If I can get my head out here, it's even stronger. You can with a half Nelson and a bar arm, you can't get much past here. But you don't want to have your head over top of his back like where mine is right now. I want to have my head here. Head over top. If I'm going to drool right now, the saliva will land on top of his head. Yeah, it's a good position. Bad position. Good position. So we slide into that V as far as you can go. Head forward. Get your head up over top of his. That shifts all the weight off my knees, you can see, onto him and drives him forward. Now here's where I got him controlled. You can see his face changing colors now. All right, he's going to put his arm out there and say, bullshit, I'm not going over that. Okay, I'm going to go, oh yeah, watch this. So I want to get rid of this limb. There are multiple ways of getting rid of the limb. Reach under, one-on-one, over top, hold in. I just hold the pants still anymore because I never had the biggest biceps in my weight class. It's pretty strong, but not the strongest in my weight class. Sometimes you go, it doesn't come in. He goes, no. Okay, so what you do is take a little bit of glue the mat here, put his hand in the glue, take a nail, and hold his hand still here. Hold it still, and I take my legs, and I drive him over his hand. I don't bring the hand in because I can't sometimes. But I can, with my legs and my hips, take him over the arm. Now I've got the limb in. Now what I'm going to do is drive up to the side here. Now I do something back-assward from everything, from what most people do, instead of going around his head. I take my bottom leg over there first, from here to here. That posts his head. Instead of running this way around, I post his head with my other leg. It's just backwards, most people teach. Here to here. I get my leg on this side. This is, you want submission, you want to get his attention here, you want to pin. This all does the same thing. Now, once I start running here, my hand is still pointing across his, legally, across his spinal column. What I do from here is now I pull my arm up, and I go to his tricep. It's probably not allowed at that time, but the referee never sees it. Okay, catch it, and I come over. I'm rotating this on top of him. And once I get down here, now his hand will turn white in a minute. Now in maybe 30 seconds it'll be blue, because I'm cutting off all the blood going to his hand. And it's pretty damn tight. Now I have a reverse half Nelson, regular half, reverse half. And I let my fingers do the walking. As I let my fingers walk away, you'll see his facial expression will change. Okay, but see the color change? Red to white. No blood going to that arm. All right, referee's position. Somehow we want a different way of knocking him down. Hand on the wrist. Head here in the shoulder. Head down. My weight goes there as I'm pulling this out into the bar. So here, pressing them, out, boom, head down. Whack it, bring it down. And now I'm driving into it with my legs. See what I did to the arm? Without even my hand moving. He was here, when I put my head here, the hand went here to here. As I'm driving forward. Grab his wrist, slide how far forward. Further you get this V, the stronger you are. Where's your head position? Over top of his or in front of his? Good, better, best. Oh shit, I'm in trouble. You know, maim up that far. Up here. From here, around, up, block. Up, block. Ooh, I ain't gonna tell you yet, right? Yep. This end, but I don't give a shit about that end. This end's the one I'm worried about. And if I can keep him down and only have access to one arm, really tough for him to get up. I got all my weight here, and he has to do a one-arm push-up. You know, with me sitting, it's like me sitting here going, okay, Rocky, do a push-up. Yeah, ain't happening. And if it is, run. If you can do one from there, get out of dodge. Okay, here. Once you plan, slide forward, slide forward, slide forward, slide forward. He's starting to even put his arm forward to allow me to take him over. In a match, he goes, no. But you see, when you put your hand out there and say no, you can feel as I'm leaning forward, as my head's now passing your head, going forward. If you do it right, you can always hear a good hold. When it works, you can hear it. As you lean forward. Okay, now, I've got the arm up, so the limb is out going up the top of the tree. That's not going to stop the tree from rolling. That's fine. Okay. I want his hips to stay where they are. If I start going here, if he scoots his hips that way, he keeps on throwing me off. So I say, no, you're not going to move your hips anymore. This arm keeps his feet, his butt from going that direction. Once I get to here, up, and trap on the tricep. Up, trap on the tricep. I'm keeping him from rolling. I'm coming over, but he's not rolling until I want him to. I got my lock on the tricep. Now I can let go. You come over here. Feel the hand?
Yes, sir.
And then touch your fingers and then tuck. Ways of turning the guy over. The idea is to get him over. And if we're feeling discomfort, we're going to put our shoulders down. Everyone has priorities in life. Your God may be number one. Your wife and family might be number one, God's two. Survival might be number one, God two. For heavyweights, food is one, God is two. You know. So everybody has different girlfriends, 3 or 4, unless you haven't seen her for a while, then she gets moved up, your priority list. Every one of you, I don't care what your priority is, you don't want to die, you want to survive, and you don't want to feel discomfort. God, for most of us, fall right below that one. Or parenting, or family, or food, or girlfriend, or whatever. But number one is discomfort and survival. No one walks out voluntarily in front of the school bus. You know, we don't do that voluntarily. All right, since survival is number one, everything else is number two. Number three might be thou shalt not be pinned, the 11th commandment. Okay, when I effect the first one, whatever happens up here, everything below that is unimportant. If I can make you think you're dying, or that you don't like the left elbow getting stuck in your right ear, and you're feeling, you know your arm or your shoulder is about ready to break, you're not thinking about what Mom's cooking for supper tonight, or you and Sally Sue, or family or God. You're thinking about, ouch, I've got to get out of this. It's like you guys ever wrestle in a swimming pool with a buddy, and one guy gets dunked, and all of a sudden you find yourself underwater, and you realize, I didn't get a breath of air before I got down here. All of a sudden you realize, I need air now. You're not thinking about rules of decorum. You're thinking about getting your mouth to the surface. You don't care how you get it there. If you have to grab, bite, kick, scratch, gouge, you're getting your mouth to the surface because that's all you're thinking about is survival. And when I can get you out here and I can cut off your breathing like you're underwater, if I can get that left elbow, or I can get that arm going, oh shit! If I can get you to go through that thought process, thou shalt not be pinned is not one of your thought processes. It's survival at that moment. So you have to have temporary pain, legal discomfort. The temporary pain is it hurts like hell right now. As soon as you let go of it, it goes away. It's temporary. And it's legal. You never want to hurt a guy so you see him downtown the next week and, Charlie, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Doc says I'll get the pin out in there 6 weeks. We're not trying to hurt a guy that way, but it's temporary and it's legal and it's right now. If I can do that, I'll get his mind off of wrestling, off of his shoulders, and onto the discomfort location. I can't breathe, I can't see, I'm in trouble, I'm going to die. If I can make him think that he's dying, I'm not trying to kill him, I'm just trying to make him think he's dying. Then I can get the pin. So if we don't go through that thought process, if you don't make the guy, go through that legal discomfort, that temporary pain, then it's going to be his bicep size versus your bicep size. His willpower versus your willpower. His years of experience as a wrestler versus your years of experience. Your dedication, his dedication. Your coaching staff, his coaching staff. Your workout partners, his workout partners. They all get piled onto a scale of justice. Ding. And one's going to have more than the other. And if I have less than him, I can't ever pin him or beat him unless I can make him think he's about to die. Then all that shit don't count. It goes into survival mode. And what I'm trying to do is create legal discomfort in all your pinning combinations, in your situations, to make him say uncle, to make him think about something other than his shoulder blades. And that's what these things are designed to do. At one stage in high school, where's my break time? Okay, here. I won states in high school just on a cross-stage cradle series. It's the 4-inch punch, you know. I can hit him from here as hard as I want to be legal in wrestling. I just can't do this, you know. But I can get a 4-inch punch in there pretty good, and it's legal. On the cross face, from here, what I'm doing is on cross faces, if you go across his face, you always end up with your hand up here behind the shoulder. That's a bad position. You want to have your little finger down on the elbow. You want to come across. You always want to have your little finger on the elbow. Anytime you're breaking the guy down here, not up here. You want to go down as far as you can. That gives you a mechanical advantage. Once you get past the elbow, you start pulling, the elbow will bend. And with the arm will come in. He may drop his elbow, but I don't get him moved. I've got to get the whole arm in. So I come down as far as I can get with my little finger on that elbow. And when I pull, the whole arm comes up. So on cross face, I always want to have my little finger on the elbow. Down here at the end. Down at the end. Not past it, not higher. Every inch you go up here, he improves power by 100 pounds. He's a gorilla up here. He's nothing down here. So we want to be low on our cross face. Now, so I don't want to go across his face. I want to hit him in his ear, in the side of the head, that way. That's how you hit a guy in cross face. You're not doing this in cross face. And from here, if you hit him with your forearm or your hand, how far do I have, how much speed, how much distance do I have to pick up some speed to hit him? What, 8 inches? When I hit him with this, 12 inches. Hit him with this, 18 inches. Hit him with this, 2 feet. So from referee's position, bang. See how his head drops? But you don't even know, you can't, it's really hard to say how many you hit me. Okay, so the cross faces, when Mouse started in the cross face series, this is a great submission, not submission, but boy, if you want to knock a guy down MMA type stuff, you want to tie him up, you get out the right angle, get off your damn knees so he carries the weight big. Singing with a cross face here, little finger on the elbow. Step 1. Step 2, hand comes out from on the waist from referee's position, or if you happen to be there, and you go up the big valley. Okay, gotcha? Okay, so hand in the crotch, elbow here. Now, from here, you can do anything you want for as long as you want. He can't get out. Everything known to man that he does from the down position, switch, stand up, roll, grand beat, step over, he has none of that. And he can't punch you either if you're in MMA. You're out the right angle. Okay, from here. Now, what do I have control? Left arm. Left arm's responsible between 9 and 12 o'clock. What time do I go at?
10:30.
10:30. Now I'm picking up on the crotch, and I'm driving into him, so the front end's going down, the ass end's coming up, and this is exactly where I end up. You keep the cross face, keep the cross face, keep the cross face, don't let go across. Pull the arm up here. See how his arms are getting crisscrossed here? Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lean, roll my body this way, quarter turn, and now I get his arms crisscrossed across his own face, and I go all the way up and east on top of his face here. Everything down here is uncovered. But right now he's going, oh shit. He's in the OS, I won't say oh shit anymore because I don't want to swear. So I'll say OS. This is the OS position. Okay, he's now in the OS position. Okay, all my weight's here, shoulders severely planted down. He can't see the clock, he's having a hard time breathing. And right now his thought process is, I want off the mat. It's no longer who's bicep, who's willpower, who has the best coach. He's thinking about survival right now. So, okay, concept, boom, little finger over here on the elbow. As soon as you go boom to here, hand comes out, up the big valley. That's step 2. Step 1 is the cross face, up the right angle. Step 2, hand comes out from around the waist, up the big valley, here up the crotch. Okay? You can do a 5-on-2 if you want, or you can go up to the side if you're a little timid. But the idea is when you're mountain climbing, the one rule you have to remember when you climb the mountain, if you want to stay up there, is look for cracks. And get your hand in them. Okay, back here, that keeps your bottom off the mountain. Okay, cross face crotch. Step 3, you get off your knees. Step 3, you get off your knees. Now it's like a little, I'm not driving like a car pushing something. I'm driving more like a little frog. Rivet, rivet, rivet. Once he starts to fall, put your brakes on. Hand comes out of the crotch. Stop. Keep the little cross face, keep the cross face. Arms now become this. And then I start leaning this way. Up on his face. See, I put his shoulders down. You can tell by that look at that leg right there. He's going, oh shit. You know, if he was okay, his leg would be laying flat. Okay? But you can see the facial change and the rib facing that. Is that, okay. So, cross face, cross, drive him over, 1030, or if you're on the other side, 130. Okay, keep the cross face, keep off your knees, keep the weight on, and then we're going to, now, the human body, my wrist is a 2x4, not really, but it's 4 inches wide by 2 inches thick, 2x4. Okay, on the top of my wrist, you can feel your wrist, it's soft. On the top, it's a little harder. On the side here, the 2-inch side, it's bone. Okay? So if I'm going to hit him with a 2x4 in the face, and I put a bunch of cloth and I tack it on the 4-inch side, and I hit him this way, and I don't have any cloth on the 2-inch side, and I swing the bar equally as hard with the same velocity, which one's going to get his attention more? The 2-inch non-padded side versus the 4-inch padded side. My body is like that too. 4 inches by 2 inches. It's half as thick as it is wide. No, it's a little bigger than 4, but the idea is that the position looks like a 2x4. So if I'm going to lay on it when you're pinning somebody, yeah, if I, there, lay it back. See how easy it is to pin somebody? You say lay it back. Done? I'm going to. No. If I have a 2x4 laying here like this, and I put 100 pounds on, he's going to feel 100 pounds of pressure on his chest. If I pull the 100 pounds off, if I turn the 2x4 like this, put 100 pounds back on, does he feel more or less pressure? More. How much more? Twice as much because the area's been reduced by half. So, but the weight is still 100 pounds. But he feels like 200 pounds because it's on a 2-inch surface versus a 4-inch surface. So if I'm going to pin a guy, I have the soft chest muscles, padded 4-inch side versus a 2-inch bony side. What should I have on it? 2-inch bony side, not the 4-inch padded side. Where should I lay it? Here or here? Okay, you got your answer. Chest on chest is good in wrestling. Chest on face is much better. See the leg? As soon as I turn my side, I get the bones across his suit, across his face. He started, don't move, stay right there. What did he do with his head? He turned sideways. And he turned head this way when I rolled up here. I've been doing this. And I had right in here. See his face change? He felt my ribs starting to come up here. He said, oh shit. And he turned his head this way. Okay? A back bridge is all done like this. Anybody can bridge from there. Okay? Now turn your head sideways. And, you know, if I have any weight on him at all, he ain't bridging. So by putting your weight there, he either takes it on the face and is able to bridge, or he says, screw it, he turns his head, and then he can't bridge. So when you get the pain in there, you make him turn his head. Now he's taking away, he takes the discomfort off his face, which is instinctive, but he's unable to bridge now. Okay? So when you have the cross face here, and you got his arms crossed here, when you start to turn, I don't jump up here. I don't go 4-inch side, 4-inch padded front to 4-inch padded front. I stay here, and I roll sideways. So now I'm getting a 2-inch. My weight has doubled on his face because the area's been reduced by half, and I got bone on his face. I don't got a padded front on his face. So, cross face, cross, drive into him, sit again on his back, turn my side, so I want to get the bony side. Let's go cross face, out the right angle, off your knees, hand the big belly. Okay, and we're driving into him at 10:30 or 1:30, and we're picking up the butt. So, pull your arm in, picking the butt up. As he starts to roll, hand goes out as a brace. That puts the brakes on. So he lands on his back, stays on his back. We now keep the cross face. His arms start to get like this, and then as you start rolling up, his arms do this. And they get right over his face. And then all your weight's on top of his arms, on top of his face. So he's really choking himself out. I'm not doing that. He's doing that to his own face with his own arms. I didn't need to do that. So when we take a guy over with a cross face cross, bang, cross face, big battle, off your knees. Remember, 10:30. We're not doing that, some of us. We're driving this way. You get a good guy, average guy, you put the ready wrestler's going to put his foot out there and say, screw you, you're not taking me over. Okay, you drive him up this way, up this way, up this way. And I'm also picking up with his hiney downs. You know, I got hold of him here. I'm not trying to hurt him, but I'm picking his crotch up so then he rolls over. When he gets to here and the arms are crisscrossed, I'm going to start rolling to my side. I want to get my weight right here. I'm going to have his own arms going to go across his face. I'm turning sideways. Once I get to here, I've got X pounds on him, 80, 200, whatever. When I want to, you can usually tell by the legs that he got him good. He's turning his head now, take the pressure off his face. Okay, so from here, as I get up here, I drive, see what I'm doing, this foot here? Here's where I double my power. Okay, on his face is good. When I start pushing off, See his hips go, oh shit! You know, from here, what here? As I'm driving that way, I'm doubling the power and the pressure on his head. When I'm bear hugging a guy, I stand this. I want the side here, I want my thumb to be pointing toward me on all bear hugs. Because I want that 2-inch bony side, bone on bone and ribs here. Now, there was a time years ago I could get a guy over one arm just by doing this. Because I catch that floating rib down here and I can get his attention. That was years ago. Okay, now I got a lot of hands. But the idea is I lock my hands this way on bear hugs. I eliminate my thumbs, monkey hooks, here, here. And the thumb's pointing to me. I want that bone coming into those ribs. All right? Why? But if I said, okay, everybody ready, grab it. You guys would grab this way. You wouldn't grab this way. This is a little more uncomfortable. This is easy to do, comfortable to do, but very wrong. The idea in wrestling is it's scientific, wrestling. There's more science to it than there's bicep. Biceps don't hurt you, mind you. They're a nice thing to have, especially when you got the size behind you too. But now, if I'm doing a curl, how much can you curl? 100 pounds, made that up. If I turn my hands the other way and do a forearm curl, how much can I curl? Half as much, twice as much? Half as much, typically. Okay, so if I can do 100 this way, I can do 50 this way. Okay. Now, if I'm using that same concept, so that would be the same as saying I had a 20-inch bicep or a 10-inch bicep. You know, half as big. If I'm here and I reach across and I walk my hand this way versus this way, big difference. This one is what type of curl? Reverse curl. 10-inch bicep. 20-inch bicep. So it's just learning how to change your hand from one side to the other. So it's a regular curl versus a forearm curl. Okay, so you double your power. That's where you get his attention on your bear hug. Bone on bone, maximize your power. Minimize, maximize. Just a little twist of the hand. No one, when you're watching it in the Ultimate Fighting Championships or at the NCAAs and wrestling, you notice them doing that. But all of a sudden you see the guy in the bottom, over, he goes, how the hell did he do that? Boy, that sucker must be strong. No, he just did that to that. You don't catch that little nuance. So, there is, if I have on my knees and I'm on him, I weigh 200 pounds, 100 here, 100 here. Now I got 200 on him, and if I drive into him like this, or sideways like this, not only am I getting 200 pounds on him, but that pressure pushing into him, you know, I don't want to say it doubles it again to 400, but it certainly adds a considerable amount of pressure and more weight. So, do you want 100 pounds on him, 200 pounds on him, or off your knees and push into him and get 300 pounds on him? You want him to think he's got a 300-pound gorilla on him when you only weigh 100 pounds. And that's how, if you get a wrestler and you get into a scrap and you don't know what you're doing, that little scrawny wrestler can feel like 300 pounds real quick. And you'll see that in the Ultimate Fighting Championships. You see a lot of wrestlers in there. And because down wrestling is where it's at. It's just learning how to control your opponent. You know, just stay out of the guard position. You know, get out to the right angle. Non-wrestlers don't know to do that, and then that's why the guard position works all the time, because they always fall into it. It's easy to get out of the guard once you get in if you're a wrestler. If you're a non-wrestler, you think you're in a good position. You're not. If I'm swinging with my left, he blocks with that. You know, you block the same side. Well, it's my left, his right. But that's how he blocks. If I can get across and hold his other arm and pull it down, you know, and I can get rid of the arm that blocks my left, you know, he might be able to stop it, but I would come in with an elbow. It would be a punch followed by an elbow. He'd block my hand with his hand, and I can do with the elbow. So now, if I can get a hold, if I can control this side, and you know, without controlling left, you know, this way. Now I'm gonna hit it with backhand. Take that, you animal. Okay, change hands. Now you can get a shot in. He puts his hand across to block your fist, but not the elbow. And that's what you really want to drop on him anyhow. The elbows do a lot more damage. So when you're in down position, whatever, even in guard position, lay down the back. In the guard position here, when you're fighting in here, you want to come across and get the opposite hand. Well, it's left and left. In this case, right. So I pull him this way. You know, drop an elbow or fist. You don't sit here, you know, punch yourself out. You know, you can cross. Clear the arm. You know, now you can drop stuff on it. This arm protects this side. I got this side free. So on the other side, you can cross that way. You know. Now you won't stay there too long, but you'll get one good one in. Okay, so hold it across, go block, pinch. You want to give now or later? You know, that's the question. So you're trapping your arms. Pull, make you panic. Now he's really panicking. I don't mind staying in his guard. I don't stay there long. I mean, I'll try to cross his arms. I'll try to get his arms across. You know, you want to play the game, okay, fine. But they have an offense in there. I want to have all my guns, knives, bullets, and grenades, and I want to disarm you completely and go, okay, we're ready. Let's start the war now. You know, and you don't have anything. Bang, bang, shoot you. Fine. Okay. So when I'm there, I want to take away his offense. I don't want to get in positions where he has offense. In the guard position, I'm either crossing his arms or I'm getting the hell away from him. I'm going to get outside of the guard or I'm going to drop back on his ankles in the guard position. You know, you get in here and fight. I just want to grab and drop back. There's no reason why you can't lock in here. He's, by the way, Smith here. Okay, drop and get away from him. I'm not going to get punched here, but I can lock in here. If he loses here and he turns to here, I still got it. Now I want it on his knee now. Not break his knee here. My brush my hips for it. So you don't catch the ankle, oh shit, keep bellies down. It's the same as catching the arm, between the legs, judo. You catch the knee. So ankle, knee, whatever, and I'm keeping my face away from his arms. And so you have that. If he's on the back in the guard position and you don't like it, I want to stay a distance, but I want to get my one arm underneath here, one or the other. I always do my left because I'm left-handed dominant here. And when I'm ready to go, I just throw here. I clear the guard.
Ball chain on this.
And I got a ball chain. While I'm figuring out what I'm doing, once I give up an arm down here, this arm protects this side, which means he's going to be throwing this way. So I want to catch that arm. And this arm may be free, but if I really saw one coming, I could block it. But this one's going to do the damage because I've given up my left side and throw. From here, I'm just going to I'm just waiting for him to even consider getting up. I can't wait for him to get up. Just get up. I'm going to be all over his throat. But if you get in the guard, everyone loves the guard. I can't see why you wouldn't want to reach across, get this. And I would grab if I'm left-hand dominant, and that's my arm on what I'm whacking with, I would use my left, pull it across, and as soon as I put my fist up, he's going to put his hand up to block. Then I've trapped both arms. Then I'm coming back to my good arm. So if I'm down here fighting, I want to come over here. Now I've trapped. I've got both arms trapped. You're only going to hold him here for 3 or 4 seconds before he pulls that out, but it only takes a half a second before he receives the full fury of that drop. One other in the front. I have fun with it. It's one of them. You can only go once or twice a year. With state semifinals, you need 2 points. You're on your feet. You shouldn't do it. It's illegal. I'm not going to score some like that. You need 2 points. But I'm telling you, you shouldn't do it. Okay? When you get a shot or whatever, you get it here. It's the hand goes across his throat here, and you turn your hand and you put it on the shoulder. Around his throat, up, put your hand on the shoulder. Here, to here. Now, as soon as I go to the elbow here, as soon as I pick this elbow up, he's going out. Down. That cuts everything off here. And pull this up, like right now, he's not breathing. Now what we're going to do is, let's say that I did that cross-face crotch, I tried to knock him over, and he did a nice job of and he landed on his belly, he didn't roll over where I could get that. So, okay, boom, cross face, little finger on the elbow, big valley, and I'm driving into him, and I got him down, but I didn't flatten out, down, but I didn't get him over. Okay, now what we're going to do from here is, once his hips are down, I need not have the big valley. The only reason I do that is when he's up in the air, it's like riding a bronco. I have to hang on, I'm going to fly off the horse. Once I got his hips down, I don't need my hand there anymore, because he's not going to throw me because the horse is laying down, as opposed to up on his legs. So what I'm going to do is the hand comes out of the big valley, goes underneath him here, and I'm going to cup his far shoulder. The shoulder here, I'm going to take my hand, make a cup, and make a water cup. I'm going to cup over the tip of the shoulder right here. So I'm coming under and reaching up and cupping that shoulder. So I have a cross face and I have the cup. I'm going, come here, come here, come here, come here. I'm going to jerk, 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 jerk. Sometimes it works in one jerk, sometimes it takes 3 jerks, whatever. It takes it from there up so he's on his side. So I have a cross face here, I reach under, cup, pull, pull. See where I got him now? Up at a 90-degree right there. Got him at a 90-degree angle from here to here. Once I can do to the 90-degree angle here, circle, 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 circle. Now we have the arms doing the same thing we had before. Okay? Keeping the cross face, I have the arms screwed up here a little bit. My hand feels awkward here. Yours will feel awkward too. Don't worry about it, you're doing it right. I'm just telling you ahead of time, your hands are going to be like, shit, am I doing it right? It's not going to feel right. But again, I'm going to go that way with his arms, with my body. So they get to here, and this. So again, all my weight is coming down his head. And his arms crossed. Okay? If the side punch is the opposite, boom, so he's knocking him down. Hand comes out of the big valley, goes underneath here. Now, if he's laying down where I can't get my hand under there, just for a second, I'm going with this arm. I'm going to do this. Set the thing up for just a second. All I need is to get that kind of a gap underneath him. Here, just jerk him up for a second so I can get my hand under there. Cup, up, circle, 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 circle. Now I'm getting his arms crossed. Now I start leaning up in his face. Okay? So, cross face, crotch, drive it down. Okay, we're going to learn that from there. We can do it from the referee's position, MMA type stuff. Sometimes you just, whatever the hell, you got into a double leg, ran his ass over. He fell down, he jumped on top of him, boom, he's down. Okay? Where he is right now is exactly where every person you wrestle will do. Hands are like that. All we're going to, in his head, when they're in this position, at least in MMA, they might be behind their face more. In wrestling, they're always trying to get their head up to start building the base back up. From here, we're going to put on a cross face from down instead of on hands and knees. So you can do it from hands and knees, referee's position. You can also do it from your left hand, poke the guy down. Now, this is going to sound like I killed him here, but it really, I'm not. Okay, from here. So I'm doing 2 hands, like a lobster, pinching its pinchers together. I'm hitting his arm that way. I'm taking his head the other way. So, they're apart, his head's up, bam. Little finger on the elbow. Now, have a cross face on the side. If you notice the shoe over here, this is my shoe.
Push it right out of your shoe.
I'm pushing right out of my shoe. See how it's starting to turn up? To give you an idea of the pressure I'm getting into him here to hold him down. I'm just not keeping my weight here. I'm doing a push up and all the weight's coming down. I'm driving off that foot, coming out of my shoe. And now I'm ready to go. Reach under. Lock. Pull him in. Circle. Circle, circle. Keeping the wrist. Pushing out of my shoe again. Right in. That's what's giving him the pressure. Like that. Take his head up too, that'll give you this tension. Anytime you get here, anytime you get his ear to touch his shoulder, it's not so much you're picking his head this way. Make his head come over and touch his ear. There's where you get your discomfort. Put his ear to his shoulder. You want left or right. All your neck strength in wrestling is this way. Front bridge, back bridge. This way, you don't have a lot of strength. So here, let's take his head to the side, make his ear go to his shoulder. Make him think about something else just for a second. It only takes a second. It's wrestling. Maybe a little longer. MMA. Of course, you have that arms crossed there. If you would do that and circle around, his face is right there in front of you. You got both his arms tied up with one of your hands. Again, so your MMA, you know, tied up and go. Okay, on the cross face, let's go into a cradle. I'm going to go into this a little bit, and probably won't go the whole series, but because I want to jump around and just give you a taste of this, flavor of that idea here. Because the most important thing is when you walk away is that you have the tools. You know how to use the hammer, how to use the saw, how to use the T-square. So now you can go home and build anything you want. I'm not giving you the hold. I'm trying to give you the philosophy behind the holds. You'll start getting the hold. But once you get the idea of driving the guy forward, or seeing how my shoes start to roll a little bit as I'm driving in, most people know. You can go to 25 clinics. You're not going to have one clinician tell you about those shoes and see how I was driving off my feet and how the shoes are starting to roll on me. They're the things that keep your ass down. And most coaches don't cover that stuff. They're the little things. Okay, in the cross-face cradle, boom. Cross-face, we'll finger on the elbow. Big valley. Okay, if I'm driving into him, if I want him to step up, if I don't want to take him over, and I want to do something different, like a cradle, I'll drive over purposely at 9 o'clock, knowing he's going to take his foot and step up out there as a brace. Once he does, I'm going to do straight, don't move. Once he's in this position, my chest is on his chest, I'm going to slide forward so my tummy is on his back. I go from chest on chest to tummy on his back. Okay? As I slide forward, my hand comes out of the crotch and goes to the back of the knee. So my hand goes on the mat, behind the knee, elbow joint, knee joint are together. The hand is here. All that does is keeps that foot there, so now he can't take his leg back to where it came from. It's locked there. So I slide forward, slide my hand forward, it locks the leg in place. Okay? Now we have two things. If you like to roll around, some of you just may be a roller, some of you may not be a roller. I like to roll around a lot. And from here, all I'm doing is I'm not doing this is the key to the as well. Don't move your feet. Don't bring your legs back here. Keep them right where they are, and all we're doing is we're rolling off of him, behind him, like this. Just roll. So we're just rolling off the back of him. Don't bring your legs around. Cross face crotch, I drove in, he stepped up, I slide forward here. I slide forward, I have a little finger on the elbow, and I even go to my elbow if I have to here. Now all I'm doing is I'm rolling. From here, block on my wrist. And now I have a cradle. And he's flat on his back. Now, from here, in all your cradles, there are various ways of getting his attention. Taking his mind off his shoulders. We're going to start by taking my bottom knee. That's this one here, the one that's closest to the mat, the bottom one. Here's the top one. The bottom knee, I slide my hips away, and then I put my bottom knee in his ribs. And I push his hips away. That takes that near, in a cross-face cradle, the near shoulder is always the one that's up. The far shoulder's down, this one's always up. When I push his hips away with my knee, watch the near shoulder. It comes down. Now, when I want to kill him, get his attention, okay, I take my hairline, where my hair used to be, okay, you have to, humor yourself too, okay, and put it, now feel behind your ear and below your ear, you'll have a little bone that sticks out. That's where you want the forehead to be. Down and behind his ear. Now push away. Ask him.
How's that feel?
Now you don't, coaches say put your head in the temple. No, never. Never. Sit there. If you push on the temple, he'll turn his head that way, and your head will ricochet off of his. You don't get any pressure on it. You get that bone back here and start pushing. I'm just pushing with one finger here. See this face? That's where I want my head to be, on that bone. You will get his attention. Here and here. Now, if you really don't like him, you make a wish. You put your foot right here, and you take every hair that he owns from there to there, and boom, it leaves. No, it's like a turkey. You make a wish. You split his crotch. That holds him still. Okay. So the little things. There's other ways of holding him down that we'll get to in a minute. Okay. But, however, all right, let me show you the same cradle for those who don't like to roll. Cross-face crotch, you drive into him, he puts his foot up there. If you don't like just to roll off, then this time we're going to come around and I'm going to put my knees right here and here. Come around. Put my knees on the mat between his. Here. Now I'm going to pull him this way and pull him onto my back. So if you don't like to roll, you can do that. Here to here, to here. Lock and pull him back. It's the same thing. Knee and ribs, forehead on that bone, push it away. Get a split here. Good question. So we're splitting here, tightening it up here, creating a little discomfort here to get his attention. The hardest part about pinning is doing the opposite of what is expected. If you work like hell on a double leg, motion, stance, penetration, level change, finish up, you get two bout points. Okay? If you do half as many movements, you need 5 movements for takedown. Stance, motion, level change, penetration, finish up, 2 points, 5 positions. Cradles, half Nelson's bar arms, there's usually 2 or 3 positions, movements. And you get 6 bout points, or team points instead of 2 bout points. Ugh. And there's less components involved in a pin than there are in a takedown. Pinning is easier to learn than a takedown is. The hardest part to learn, why, what do you mean it's easier? How come more people don't do it? Well, the hardest part to learn is just the opposite of what you'd expect. You know how many calories you've got to burn to get a double leg to get 2 bout points. Well, how many more calories must I burn, logically in your head, to get a pin for 16 points? If 2 bout points, I've got to burn, say 100 calories of energy doing my double leg push and typical sprawl fight and finish up, top and down. You think, shit, I got to burn 500 calories to get a pin. If I got to burn 200 for 2 bout points, or 16 points, wow. It's just the opposite. But people don't think of that. It's easier, but you, in your head, think it's tougher. And then you go too fast. Pinning is slow. Back, back, back. Takedowns, wham! You have to pick up the pace. Boom, finish up, knock him over. There. You have moves just like that. When you're turning the guy over, the hardest part to learn pinning is to slow down. When you get to half, you got him on the side. The safest place in the world to have anybody is right here. Name one thing he can do to me. Elevator, double leg, fireman's carry, duck under, step over. What's he going to do? Put a half Nelson on me? What can he do from here? I am completely in control of the position. I don't have to go fast. I am not in any danger whatsoever. There ain't nothing known to man or beast that he can do to me from here. Now, once he's on his back, at least he has maybe an elevator to kick me off, but right now on his side, he has nothing. So you take your time. You lock it in. You want to kill him from here? You sag down. What do you do when you take a half Nelson, you drive to the side? What do you do when a guy shoots a double leg on you? You sprawl. So you do the same thing here. I'm way too high. I have to be here to get him to this location. And where you miss the pin is you get here and you get excited, the crowd's screaming, and get him, turn him, I've got him. And you'll keep on driving, and when you finally get him to his back, you have, I'll let you go through in a minute. When you get him on his back here, you end up with my thing on his chest. That ain't chest on chest. That ain't chest on face. I'm way, way too high in order to pin him. Because I started low, but when I got him to here, I was way too high. My chest was up here, his was down here. I cannot continue to drive. Will he go to his back? Simple. Easy to put him on his back there. Hard to keep him there, unless you stop. In pinning, you must stop halfway through the pinning combination. If you stop on your leg attack, you ain't getting a leg attack. You're not getting double leg or single leg, high crotch, or whatever. In pinning, you stop. Drive, stop. What do you do when a guy shoots a double leg? Sprawl. Sprawl. Sprawl down. And you keep on sprawling until your chin runs into his chest. When your chin runs into his chest, now you got his ass. Now, you get a guy who's tough. I saw Barry Davis, he's coach of Wisconsin, 3-time NCAA champ for Iowa. Tough son of a bitch, 118 pounds. His freshman year, while he wasn't a 4-time NCAA champ, he got caught in this in the semis. And a kid named John Harnapy from Central Michigan had him on a half Nelson on this, and he wouldn't put him on his back. He caught him right here, 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 and did this. He just laid here. And his will to win here goes, and he finally took him over a minute later in pinning because he had him in the middle of the mat with 2.5 minutes on the clock. In the first period, he just held him here for 30 seconds. And the whole time he's going. And I said to John after match, I said, how'd you know when to take him over? He said, you know the answer. I don't know what I know, but you remember me telling me. He said, look down. When a pool of saliva got as big as a mayonnaise jar lid, he said, then I knew he was ready. He started drooling over here, and then he took him over and stuck him. But the whole time you had that, you're going, if you take him over right away, then he's going to fight. The pride gets in there. You watch a pit bull fight, they don't bark, they don't growl, they walk over and they latch on and they don't let the hell go. And it scares all other dogs. Dobermans, Shepherds, none of them can stay with a pit bull because they get scared. Because that pit bull is, they don't bark, they just walk over and they won't let go. And then the other dog, then they panic and then they lose the fight. You have to make him lose it. Right away, if you put him on his back, he's going to fight. He's too proudful. Once you keep him on his side for a second, he starts forgetting about your pride. He starts thinking about, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, and he forgets everything about wrestling, and he'll put his shoulders down and take him over. The hardest part of pinning is learning to slow the hell down. Is to stop in the middle and readjust. If this was a big log, a 5-foot diameter tree that I cut down and I chopped, so it's maybe a 10-foot long log, it's 4 inches in diameter, and I'm pushing it. I want to get it moving. Wherever my hands are, once they start to move, in order to keep that log going, what have I got to do with my hands? I got to if I keep my hands in the same spot, over I go. As the log starts to go, you have to readjust your hand as it's rolling. The same thing's true with him. He's a log. What took my chest on his chest to get the log rolling, once the log rolls up to a side, my chest, which was on his side, now ends up on top of him after a quarter turn. If I keep it there in another quarter turn, I'm on my way over the waterfall. So I've got to, as the log starts to roll, I've got to stay here. I can't stick and stay with the log. So when I'm doing the half Nelson, on any pin combinations, lay belly. Here, my chest is on its side. Now once I drive him here, my chest is still on his side, but he's now on his side. I've got to readjust just like my hand's on that log. I've got to come back down. Now I can continue to drive. I may get him up here. I may sag down one more time. He's not going anywhere. He can't get off his back. You just got to go slow. Okay? Now the head wrap half, we have the chin, twist, pick. Or the head wrap half is, let me lay here so you can see it. It's like, to learn this, it's like he's laying here and his head's on my bicep. And I'm doing a reverse karate chop on his throat. Like, and I want to get my hand as far up this way as I can, this way. And now I'm going to put my chest back on top of him. This is just to learn. This is the easiest place to learn. Have him lay his head on your bicep, reverse karate chop his throat. I'm not his throat, it just happens to be there. Okay, now when I come back up and I get on that, it catches my hand in there. Now his head pops off. The neck comes disconnected from the head. And then when you're done, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'll put it back. It gets real tight on a head wrap half. So when you're driving half Nelson over, you can either get the chin and twist and pick. Some referees get all bent out of shape over this. Or you sink it in deeper and wrap it up around like this. You can see it pretty well. I did it there. The hand coming up. Then lay down on it. So now I've got my hand trapped between this chest and my chest. Boy, this gets real tight. It chokes everything off up here. So we have half Nelson head wrap or a chin twist pick. Put the leg in. Leg in. Comes inside, lays over top. So that's all I wanted, just get my leg in. Now I take both my hands, I go down and get the ankle of the foot that I have. Now I take both my hands, I go down and get the ankle of the foot that I have controlled there. So I'm ready to go. I just sit off. Both hands go to the ankle. To here. Okay? Now, I take the arch of my foot on the free leg and I put it right here on the heel. And it takes 10% of your power to make him scream. 30% puts him in the hospital. So don't think when you're just giving him a little bit of pressure, he goes, okay, let go. You might naturally think he's faking it, You didn't really put it because you're not putting any pressure on it. Trust me, when you get in it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Hold the foot still, foot here, and just push. Okay? Once you get the leg in, to there, here you're right. All you do is you gotta get the foot. Now you're not pulling the foot. You don't have to jerk it or like a deep sea fish and just get a hold of it. All you need is hold it. Done. And this foot here, and you just push. Sounds like Thumper in the Disney movie. Okay. Splayos are just counters to single legs, whether you're standing, whether you're on your knees, or whether you're in sprawled position. It's a pinning combination that is very, very difficult to get out of, and what makes it effective and has for the last 20 years is most people haven't seen it ever, and those that have seen it have never got caught in it, so they don't know what it feels like, so they're not really sure how to get out of it. And the normal way, normal motion, normal positioning that you would take when you're on a single leg is what gets you deeper into the hole. You know, you have to do kind of the opposite of what is expected in order to get out of it, which is unnatural to most people. You know, like when things starts to happen, you start getting caught in it, you go, and you hang on, you figure something's up, but you're not sure, but they're not going to get it on me. And they hang on to the single. The more they hang on, the deeper they get into it. You know, if they let go of the single, they'd be out of it, but they're not, because they've got the single. It took them too long to get there, and they're damn if they're going to let go of it. So, anywho, with all that said, I'm going to go one side. I'm one-sided. Which is another philosophy we talk about. Okay, single leg. Boom. It has a single leg on fight here. You guys ever seen this? Been there, you know, type of thing? Absolutely. One time or another. So what I want to do is all you have to remember is right, 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 right. Or left, 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 left. He has my right leg, so I take my right hand, I do a switch on his right leg. Right, right, right. If I had my left legs, left, left, left. Okay, it's my right leg. What I'm going to do here is I have to push his head down. It's a standing signal in here. And his head's up here or something. I guess I got to push his head down into my crotch, or down in this area as best I can. Now what I'm doing is I'm turning my side to him. See my sides? I'm not facing him. I'm turning my side to him. That allows me to do this. I can hook that leg with my side facing him. If I'm square onto him, I can put my foot there, but I can't get it hooked around the corner. My knee doesn't bend that way. If I turn sideways, then my knee bends that way. So I want to catch the leg. So from the single leg here, I want to get to my, as most single legs already have, you turn to the side. Head down, turn to the side. So I have that ability to do that. Okay, he's got my right leg, take my right hand, reach down, do a switch on his right leg. Okay? The key to this is turn the palm down, down, down. Don't look up. I don't want to see the palm. Palm faces down. Palm faces down. No, yes, no, yes. Okay, head down, reach in here, match is over now. I've got the leg hooked here, I've got this leg hooked. I'm going to drop down to my side right here. I'm making this leg out of here. I'm going to drop here and take it that way. Here, and over. Now from here, I plant both my feet on the ground. Plant my feet on the ground. Pull this to me, and then raise my hips up. This becomes the BYOB part. You get that? Okay, when you lift your hips, lift. Okay. Now remember, you're on your own back here. Don't get too comfortable. Because the first set of shoulders the ref will see will be his, mine, me. If he'll do that, I'll get up and go, yeah! And he'll get his hand raised. I'll go, what? You know, keep one of your shoulders up. Plant your feet, raise your hips. When you raise your hips, you can hear a good hold.
You don't ever scoop with the head?
Huh?
You don't ever scoop with the head?
The question was, can you put that head behind the leg? Yeah, I like that. It's overkill. He's already dead, bought the farm, and that's it. Okay? It's like shooting a deer, you know, boom, deer's down, dead. Bam, 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 bam. He's really dead. Yeah, but there's no meat left either. You just made a hamburger. No need to shoot it a second time. You don't need to put that over there. It's already dead. And if you put the head over there, it's not unlike an old-fashioned watch where your grandfather had to wind the watch up, and the spring gets tighter. And there's a point, if you wind it too tight, the spring goes ding, and the watch is now broken because the spring comes undone because it's so tight. His body will spring him out of that involuntarily. I mean, it's nothing he did. His body just went ding. When you get him so tight that all his tendons are stretched so tight, he'll pop out of there. And you'll go, you know, you did it too well. Is that possible to have something you did too well? Yeah. This is one of them. Okay, so we have from standing. If he's on his knees on a single, moving in here. Okay, see he has this leg up already, so it's just a second to hook it, but I have to have my side toe. Sooner or later, he's going to start coming up. So there it is. Lock. Now, all you have to do is lock your hands here and fall. Anymore, I've got it to the point where I don't even bother locking my hands. I just put my hand here. This other hand comes around, and I put it right there at the base of the heel and catch it. I go right to the heel anymore. I don't even lock my hands. I learned to go here and then here. And that's even tighter. That's better than this, because I can hold this in one hand and wave them up with the other. Okay? That's real tight. So I like that one. He's there for 3 or 4 centuries, or until the referee lets him out. If it's down on a single leg down on his knees here, you're fighting him here. You see this all the time too. Is right leg, right hand, switch on his right leg. Now he has a single leg. He wants a single leg. He's trying to pull the single leg in, but I didn't have it. So I'm going to give him my leg and I'm going to sit down. I'm going to sit down. I'm not going to lay down. I'm going to sit down here. Sit up, 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 up. You'll have a feeling you want to do this. No. Because if he lets go of the leg and turns to me, whoops, then I go into the bridging series. Okay. I have him here. Pull the leg in, hook the foot, matches over. Pull the leg in, hook the foot, matches over. I'm going back again. If he was caught in this last week, and his coach said, "You dumb bunny, you got caught in splinter." He goes, "What did I do wrong? You let him get that damn leg hooked." It's bad because he was doing it. I'm taking that leg back. You ain't getting that sucker. I've been there before. So you go down and catch the heel here. Right here. Heel. Now you just pull this foot, put the leg back. Yeah. Now keep the leg back. Okay, good. Okay, keep the leg back. All right. So now you just pull the heel this way. You say, "Come here, foot." So, standing single, you're like, whisk control, shallow whizzer, wherever you want to hook here, whether you're popping on the outside, on the inside. It's turning your side to him. Turn your side so you can get your leg hooked. If you keep square with you, because the person is going to take you down. Even defensively, you want to turn your side and anytime you get the legs picked up. Guy gets a single leg on you, get your side to him. Now you can go and wobble each way. If he's facing me and I have a leg up, all he has to do is push here, and down he goes. If he turns his leg sideways, and I start pushing, he can turn and buckle the knee. There you go. And still fight. I can't get pressure down to make it work. If my leg stays here, I go down. If I turn this way, I can turn my leg and he still can't get any pressure on me. I can fight. Don't get caught square with him with your knee caught. Down you go. Sideways, you can still fight the position and hip him and so on. Okay, so we want to have a side anyhow. So head comes down in your crotch. As your head comes down, you follow it down. So you're pushing his head down, it's all one motion. Doesn't have to be fast. Head down, reach in. There, matches over. Because the leg hook, got his leg caught. Plant, raise up. Single leg on the knees. Here, you fight him here. Boy, he wants to stick that up. I love that, baby. Boom! He wants to give me that. I got her. Okay. Now I went to my back before I hit the leg hook. Mistake. He lets go. Rolls to my head. Let's go. Okay. Now I'm in front. Okay. If I sit up here. Okay. Now here. I want that leg. Got it. Use that. Come here. Okay, so now a spladle is a half split scissors, like a banana split with legs on it, half split, half cradle, spadle. That's where the name came from. So this is part cradle. So if we're here and I get caught here, I want to keep his head in here. If it slips out to the outside, I've lost the spladle, but I have the cradle. So I go from here with this arm deep to this arm deep. Swap arms, elbow joint to knee joint. And pull this arm out. Now I'm just going to cradle. Lock my hands. leg hook in. Now on all your cradles, remember the 4-inch side, 2-inch side, padded, not padded. You don't fall off of them on a cradle. Leg hooked, and you come up and you stay on his facing. I'm arching here. All my weight and my bones are coming down across his snout and mouth. He'll tell you right now, he ain't happy. If I drop off, like most kids do, you'll still get a pin, possibly, but all the pressure's off of him. He can breathe and see, and now he can fight. And he can argue with you. If you lay up on his face, there's no argument. Again, legal discomfort. Taking his mind off his game, putting it someplace else. Clearly not on his shoulder blades. When I was on your face, you weren't thinking about your shoulder blades. Screw them. I'm worried about the back. So a spladle can be turned into a cradle easily. Or now from one other position. From here, another way of getting into a spladle is you're riding. 20 seconds to go. You're down by 2. You're down by 7. What are you going to do? He's going to keep his head up. He's going to keep out of a cradle. He's going to keep out of a half Nelson. And he's going to say, fine, 19, 18, 7. He's going to count down. If you need the pin, spin to the front and give him your leg. If he reverses you, so you lost by 7 instead of 5. It's still an L loss. It's not a win. Okay? Give it a shot. Spin to the front. Look at him. What's he going to do? Exactly what he just did. A single leg. I'm going to grab it. Great. Grab it. Keep it, please. Match ends. Doesn't say was losing 7-2 at time of fall. It just says WBF. Won by fall. Okay, so you can spin to the front and give them the leg. Because they want to be on a single leg with 10 seconds to go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I win. Okay, so you stick out and you give them the leg. You just jam it in there. I'm not done yet. You jam it in there, let them have it. They're going to take it. Thank you very much. Okay? And if you don't get it, I'm going to carry you off as a coach. Thanks. You went for 6 minutes. You wrestled all 6. And up until the very last second, you were trying to win. That's the important thing. You're out there for 6 minutes, win, lose, or draw. That last 5 minutes is the same 5 minutes as the first 5. I'm trying to find a way to win regardless what the score is. You don't lay your head down after being down by 7 with 10 seconds to go, say, shit, I can't win. Lose by 10. I'd rather lose an extra team point and see you going for it than to lay your head down and go conservative. Because eventually you're going to catch on to how to do this. And that last 10 seconds of you losing that last 3 points, because you tried and you didn't get it, you're going to figure it out. You're going to start getting it. And you're going to start scaring the hell out of people, and you're going to start winning. And then your reputation is going to precede you about being a pinner. And then people are a little apprehensive to get on that single leg, that high crotch. And when they hesitate on the single because they're worried about what you're going to do, that hesitation is what allows you to do what you can do best. So it all starts to snowball in your favor. Once you become known as a pinner or a knockout artist, well, the Orlovsky fight. Orlovsky got knocked out match before, and he wouldn't fight. He was 25 minutes out there and didn't do a damn thing. Why? Because he remembered he got knocked out. Okay, now also from here, you can be riding here, and if he tripods gets his ass in the air, start standing up here, you can do the very same thing. Now from here, in order for him to stand up, he's going to get his ass in the air, and he's going to do this. To get up. He just can't stand up from that tripod position, the quadpod position. He's got to start backing up. So I'm waiting for him to back up. He gets to here. Boom. Spladle. Okay, as he gets here, right there. He's giving me the position. He's backing up, volunteering for it. Great, thanks. Sometimes you'll get a guy like that. You got so much weight on the spiral ride, he's like this. Just trying to get the gear shear through to come out for one. And it gets to that final position. Night, night, it's over. Body's loose. You're dancing. Now when he shoots, bam! You hit hard. Sprawl hard. Stopping, hitting, chopping, whatever. When you're ready to attack, loose, 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 bam! And you go. It's the transition between soft to kicking it into gear. They can't they can't identify when I'm about ready to hit, if I stay loose. I can't move fast if I'm tight. So in order to be able to shoot on him, I gotta let go for a second or loosen up for a second and then attack. When I let go, when I loosen up, is when the bells and the whistles start going off in his head. Whoop, 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 here he comes, companionship, look out. Now I am telegraphing, I am telling him, here I come. Without using the words, but I know right away, oh, as soon as he goes tight with me, I forget one of those guys. You know, like that. And then when they loosen up, you know, that's when I start lowering my level because they're coming. It's when they're loose the whole time, they're now able to shoot anytime they want to, and there's no indication, bam, they're coming. So it's loose and hit. It's not, I'm going to show you who's the boss. I'm the toughest. I'm the tightest. Watch this. See how strong I am. Because I've got to let go in order to shoot. And that change of that tough to loose is the warning that says, here he comes. Look out. You start lowering your level, getting ready for the attack. So that's why those tough guys usually don't survive. That's where you get a K.L. Sanderson. John Smith, just pick your ass up and go, you know, because they're just so loosey-goosey. Then they hit you. So they go from loose to whack. Then it'll go tight, loose, whack. Can't win that way. Got to go loose when you're fighting. You know, you get that tense. It's a natural to want to win when you tense up. But as you get better in wrestling environment, that doesn't get you anywhere except bridging. You know, so you have to loosen up a little bit. You know, to win your shots and to be able to attack. Okay, one of the things that I think you guys, some of you MMA guys, I like this. Okay, all right. Yeah, well, let's say I would do a cross face with this belly. You know, I just showed you that lobster cross face this morning. As soon as I get, bam, 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 bam. Now his head's down, so it's a little harder to get. But the match, everybody's head will be up. Little finger on the elbow, wham. Now, if I start driving into him, he turns the side down, puts his foot down, here's a brace, you know, here. I'm driving into him, trying to get him over. Now, what I'm going to do, from this position you'll get in, because a lot of times I'll get in that position in the match. I've got a cross face, I'm driving into him, he'll put his foot out as a brace. Now I'm going to turn this into a cradle. I'm going to bring this end down to this end. You can't bring that end to that end. If you take your arm and move his leg and bring it up here, you don't have to worry about technique at all. If you've got that kind of horsepower, you can do whatever you want to do. For the rest of us who can't bring that leg up because your arm isn't big enough, we're going to use our legs and use our legs to take his head down to his leg. Come out from here and drive the head down to the leg. Now again, watch my shoe roll. I'm getting a lot of pressure off my toes, locked on my wrist. So I'm in this locked up cradle position. Now I can always just sit here and pull him on those back. But from this position, I want to kill him. I want to convince him that he wants to come to his own back. So I take the leg that's closest to his head, my right leg. I come up here, tripod up, and I put this knee right here in his ribs, in his kidney. But I still have him in the cradle. He wants to go to his back very rapidly. I don't want to take him over. So I, a little twist, keep him there a little bit with the saliva, or start building up with the matter. Okay, anyhow. Cross face, clash here, up, knee, right there, right?
Yeah.
He's dying. He can't wait to go to his back. And when he comes to his back, I've already got the knee in the ribs. I'm all ready to go. Next step, bone on, head on the back, that bone on the ear. Okay? So we have him here. Now, here's the mistake you guys will make. You'll come up and you put your foot like this. Notice how my leg is at an angle this way. There's no pressure down. From here, it's up and it's straight down. Straight down into, you're on the floating ribs kidney area. You don't go, you just have to put it there and lean all your weight there.
You also need it too as well for his MMA.
MMA, you probably need it a couple times, Now, if you had a choice of creating a five-sided fort, the old Wild West, four-sided or triangular, three-sided fort, which one do you want? I'd go the triangular one because I defend 3 walls instead of 4 or 5. And using that philosophy, I understand that. In wrestling, if I do this traditional, here's philosophical stuff that I play with in my head. If I get into a square stance with you, That means you can single this leg, high crotch here, duck here, fireman's this arm, fireman's that arm. I mean, you can do anything you want to me. And I've got to know how to defend this leg efficiently, this leg efficiency, this arm efficiently, this arm efficiently. I have to be able to stop anything that you could throw at me. Now, because I'm square stance, I'm pretty good at attacking you any way I want to as well. But I have to learn so many defenses that I'm going to spend 10 minutes on this, 10 minutes on this, 10 minutes on this, 10 minutes on this, and 2 hours later, I've only covered 10 minutes of everything. I'd rather get in a single leg, there's a triple foot stance. I usually turn my foot sideways as opposed to this way, because if they hit you, they catch your leg locked, down you go. Here, at least your leg is still bent. And anytime I want to attack, I can still, on my attack, straighten my foot. But if someone catches me off guard, that knee will go, man, without breaking or without catching me going down. So I turn one side to you, and I wrestle from here. Now, can you double leg me from here? No, you're coming there. Can you do anything to this side? No. How about a high crotch? When I got my side turned to you. If I was like this, with a sleeve leg, you can still do a high crotch and a duck bender. If I turn my side to you, you don't have a duck bender, you don't have a fireman's carry, you don't have a high crotch, you don't have a double leg, and you sure as hell have nothing on this side. And all you have is a single on this leg. So when coach is going over 2 hours of counters, I don't have to go 10 minutes here, 10. I got 2 hours here. I get pretty damn good at learning how to counter that leg, defend that leg for 2 hours. No matter what you can do, I'm going to win you. Because you're going to, and now how many people in here, by show of hands, your very best number one takedown was a single leg to my right leg. That was your best number one takedown. Oh darn. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So, I have a 12-match schedule. It's my defense against your second, third, or fourth best takedown. And I'm telling you, everybody in here, including yours truly, our second best takedown is a hell of a ways down from our best. It ain't just right below it. It's a drop-off, So I've taken all 12 of you out of the game before we even started it. And I didn't lift one more weight, run one more mile, and I'm going to win. Why? Because I'm standing like this. I didn't give you all the choices. I'm telling you what you're going to do. Single leg, this leg, that's it. And if it's your best shot, it's my best defense. Let's go. But if I had someone walk in now and that was his best shot, 12 of you already beat. So I'm only going to have one good match. That's the guy just getting the door who has a single, so it's going to be his best and my best. Okay. We'll find out. So I want to position myself where I know where he's attacking. If you know what wall the Indians are attacking, you can put all your soldiers on that wall if you know they're coming there. I know what he's going to do. This leg. Why? Because I'm not giving him anything else. Russell and Schultz or Lee Camp or some of the better ones when I was coming up through. Camp was a bitch to score. He'd get a lead leg and I knew damn well. I see the kids try to take him down. If they touch that leg, they never took it down. I knew the only chance of taking him down is that back leg. I would spend 9 minutes in a 9-minute freestyle match trying to pull him around to get him to take one step like this. Just for a second before he'd get back to that lead leg. And when that foot hit here, I was on it like a dog on a bone. Hobo and a ham sandwich. No sooner, boom, I was there. Because you only get one shot at it. And when you hit that leg, you could hear him going, because that's his back leg. You hit this leg on mine, you hear me going, I don't want you on that one. You touch this one, gotcha. So you spend the whole match moving him around, trying to get him out of position, get him to make one step like that. Just one. As that foot's coming forward, I'm coming in. I want it. It doesn't even have to be a good shot, because he can't defend it. Anyway, beat him with that. But everyone saw that lead leg. Oh, grab that one. Were you brain damaged? There's a reason why they get that leg lead. That leg leading. If a guy does this, there's a reason. And it ain't because he's giving me a gift. Okay? You want the back leg. So you spend the whole time trying to get that back leg to become the lead leg in wrestling. Okay? Hands these. Again, strategy. How do you get better by drilling, by teaching, by learning, by putting the time in, going to matches. My son is going to be a junior, and he's not a great wrestler. He's a good wrestler. He might be great before it's all over. I don't know. But he's wrestled 106 matches since states so far. He's been every weekend. He has almost 3 full seasons of matches under his belt since February. So even though he's going to be he's already started wrestling in 9th grade. He plays the states in first year wrestling. You know, in one state this year. He's not bad. But, you know, but now he's going to this coming year, he's coming in as a freshman in college. In experience. He's got 3 seasons under his belt since February. So, you know, that's how you get better. Now, and you start, you know, you get better by wrestling, by drilling, by learning, by teaching, by observing, and getting the experience, obviously. And there are other ways that you know, the way to win is you elevate yourself. You get better technically, physically, mature, you're stronger, you run, you're in better shape, and so on. You get around better kids, you roll and learn and teach from them, the coaches. But at the same time, if I was a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10 given today, and you were a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't care what I'm going to do, I can't beat you. You're a 9, I'm a 6. Now, if you'd have the flu, and you had a temperature of 104 right now, you're flushed and red, you've been on the toilet all night, you haven't slept, you know, come on, Irish, but, you know, I bet you that 9's no longer a 9, you know, he's a -2 right now. I can't even stand up, you know, I'm going to win. I'm a 6, he's a 4, he's a 2. What, you know, am I better than him normally? No, he just happened to have a bad day because he was sick. So, you know, not only does sickness bring a guy down, but what you do in stance and style of wrestling can bring him down too. You don't have to have a bigger bicep, more conditioning, have wrestled more matches to beat a guy if you make him have a bad day. Your job is to do the best you can, given your talent, given your, you know, your experience and so on, and also, you know, find a way to make him have a bad day. How many upsets do you see in sports when this team just didn't get it together? You know, that star basketball player fouled out in the second quarter. You know, all of a sudden things changed. You know, how do I make him have a bad day? Okay, this way's one. You know, nobody in here, best spot shot was here. So I've taken away your best offense on your feet. Just by standing this way versus this way. I said, screw you. You're going to get the best. Okay, down on the mat. When you wrestle, what was the best move you had on the bottom? Stand up. Okay, stand up. So you'd stand up, inside leg stand up with your left leg coming up, cross over, boom, 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 right. And you practice that probably numerous times, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, you ended up being a what on a stand up in your estimation? Doesn't really matter what the number is, just give me one.
6 or 7.
6 or 7, okay, fine. Now, when your opponent rode on the opposite side of you, when you had to stand up with your right leg as the inside leg stand up versus your left leg, you had to come across with your right arm and take it off instead of the left arm take it off. How good were you?
Short set, gravity rolls.
No, stand up. How good were you?
Good question, probably about 4.
Okay, so we took him from a 7 to a 4 because I rode on the opposite side. Did I do anything to get bigger biceps, better conditioning, more experience? No. So why do you allow any of your kids to ride normal side? Everybody in the world is worse when a guy rides opposite side because they never see it. They don't practice it in the room. They're used to the guy getting on the left side. You teach your team to get on the right. Well, I don't like it. I don't care if you like it or not. You're going to learn how to do it. And in 3 weeks, they'll be just as good on that side as they were on this side. But it's going to be 3 weeks of bitching and moaning and complaining that they're having to make this change. But when you make the change, the guy you wrestled is now a 4 instead of a 7. What if you're a 5 or a 6? So there's going to be winning and losing match. I'm a 5 or 6, he's a 4, I win. He's a 7, I get normal side, he's going to get out, he's going to take me out. So by learning nothing else other than to ride opposite side, I become a better wrestler. Not really a better wrestler, I become more successful because he's worse. Okay. So, I had 4 boys. They didn't eat my food, they didn't sleep in my house if they rode on that side. There was no decision. It was non-negotiable. They're on this side. The second thing they did is when the hand's around the waist, name all the moves he can do from the bottom position. Okay, I'll have to put it on the side. Screw it a bit. Can you do a switch again? Get my hand around the waist. Boom. There you go. You can come into a switch because the hand's around the waist. Can you do a gravity roll from there? That's it. You know, and boom. Or okay, high turning. Some variation of it. It's not one of the best moves, but okay. Side roll. Does it work when you have a side roll? You cross wrist, and I got my wrist over where I go. You can stand up. Hand control, you can step over me. Everything that you know from the bottom position starts with my hand around the waist. If my hand is not around the waist, and I reach out and go up the big valley here, can you do a sit-up? ahead, sit down. Come on, sit down. Not if you want to lose your nuts. Come on back. Okay. Well, you crouch. Can you stand up? Granby, hand control. Where's your Granby? Everything that I do, that he does from the bottom, starts with my hand around his waist. So why do you put your hand around his waist? Now you can chop and tight weights from there. But that's it. Everything else that you can think of comes from hands outside of the around the waist. You have to put it there when the referee says, okay, get set, ready, wrestle. As soon as the referee says ready, wrestle, boom, my hand comes out of there so quick. I've taken away his offense. He no longer has a switch. He's a switch man. He doesn't have a sideball, he's a side man. Oh man, he's not having Granby, he's Granby one. He doesn't have my hand control, the post to peel through if he's a stand-up guy. I've taken away his entire offense. I've further screwed him up by being on the opposite side. So without being a better wrestler, bigger bicep, better condition, more mature, hair on your chest, deeper voice, whatever it takes to move up the ladder, I can be more successful by little transitions with my person, guy that I'm wrestling. If he's a double leg, high crotch, duck under, ankle pick kind of guy, named 4 decent takedowns, and I know I can't beat him on my feet, but I might be able to beat him down in the mat. What do? I wrestle, shake hands. I know I'm not going to take him down. I've scouted, and I got to worry about double leg, single leg, high crotch, ankle pick, duck under, ready wrestle. Double leg, single leg, high crotch, duck under. Sorry, Charlie. Now, do I have an offense? No. Did I have one anyhow? No. Do I give anything up? No. Am I ahead of the game? Yep. So, drop to a knee, move around, take away his offense, frustrate the heck out of him. He's so used to, blowing people over with a leg attack. Take a leg away. There's ways of screwing up your opponent. Now, any one of these might make a difference in winning or losing in a match. But you always want to stack the deck in your favor. These are ways of stacking the deck. You start thinking about what he can do, what he can't do, what can you do, and you'll come up with some answers. Don't know. What I tried to do in this last 10 minutes of this conversation is get you thinking that wrestling is a physical chess match. It is a move, counter move. Not only is it cerebral, you have to go through the thought process, but you have to understand, can I do 3 holds down that I'm thinking about? Am I capable of doing that? Chess, I just know I can do this. And moving the pieces are easy. It's just strategy. In wrestling, it's not only strategy, but not only do you have to move the pieces, you have to figure out, double leg, what I'm supposed to do from here. Well, I've never thrown double leg, so I can't do it, so I throw that strategy out and go to alternate strategy, plan B. So the idea is the physical, battle back and forth, is to start thinking about how can I win this match? How can I get ahead of the guy? What am I supposed to do? You spin to the front and give him a single leg. He's going to hang on to that because he's been taught to hang on to that. Okay? Then you want to go split it. You find, catch up on a match. So I'm trying to get you to think a little bit about where you are, what you're doing, in hitting in, relaxing, and then attacking versus getting tight. Because when you get tight, you got to relax, and you're telling the guy you're coming. So these are the things that you learn. Every time I'm touching the guy, he'll tell you I'm soft when I'm touching him. Until I decide to lock in that spladle, then I'm no longer tight, no longer soft. It's soft hit, soft hit. Headlocks, again, as the name implies, they're trying to somehow get it locked on his head. Not at all. The part that you're trying to tie out is his arm. A fireman's carry looks like committing arm crotch, and a fireman's carry, this arm does everything. You don't even need to have your hand to crotch in order to get a fireman's carry, as long as you've got control of that arm. You don't have to worry about stabbing his head on a headlock as long as you're controlling his arm. This arm is everything. This means nothing on our headlocks. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to pull it back. Either he has a shot, a sprawl, or I'm just going to pull him down to his knees. We're going to learn to do a headlock from the knees first, then we'll come up and learn to our feet. But it's just a way of getting the guy over. I used to have a lot of fun pulling the guy down to his knees. Here, get him down here. Okay, there you go. Now, from here, all I need is his head to get a little higher than my shoulder. Boom, match is over. Here, I don't have it. Here, I do. Just that little change. I want his head, his forehead on my shoulder. So over here, I don't have it. So what I want to do, if I can't get it, I'll just keep lowering down here. Sooner or later, he's going to start adjusting and bring his head up. And now I got it. So you just lower it down, and as his head comes down, sooner or later, he doesn't like that. So he's going to start bringing his head up. As soon as he brings his head up, and he's on top of my shoulder. So here, I just start walking myself down. As soon as it comes up, now I have it. Head's on top of my shoulder. All I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten my arm and pretend it's a saber, and I'm just trying to cut his neck. Put you both these down, please. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drive into you. You're going to be there, and you're going to hold me up. So from here, I'm going to drive into him with him. Stay there. I'll push him. I'll need you. I'm going to start sliding until my chest hits his shoulder here. Boom. Until I get to here. So my knees stay where they are. He's carrying all my weight because I'm off my knees. And I'm here. I slide the whole way into my chest hits his chest. Okay? So I'm sliding forward, and then I'm going to pull on this arm, which I didn't have hold of. So now, here, head is down. As soon as I come into here, pulling on this arm, takes him on over. I still have not grabbed his head, so it looks like a headlock, but I didn't lock my hands around his head. If I lock my hands around his head, I've lost all my support points, my limbs on my tree over here. If I do too much driving in, he'll lock his hands, hit a bridge, and roll over. I'll do the work or get the points. Okay? If I'm driving here, he can roll all he wants that way. I got my brace. I'm not committing my arm here on a headlock and losing, voluntarily pulling my support point out over there. So, when I pop him down here, we have a couple finishes. All right, first thing they're going to do to you is they're going to try to lock your hands there on your rib cage, squeeze, get an arch, and try to. Now, notice how his arm is bent at a 45 right here, I mean a 90. Because he's locking his hands here, he's pulling in tight. The more he pulls it in, the more this goes to a right angle, at 90 degrees. I take my forearm and thumb out that bone, and I just stick it underneath the arm here. I just catch it here at the elbow, right there. Okay? Now I'm going to lock my hands. Now, without using my legs, don't push into them. Just keep sitting here. All I'm going to do with this arm, I'm going to put my arm up like this. I'm just going to put my arm up. And when this elbow points up at 12 o'clock, I will have had his attention. Okay, here, I've got his arm caught, and all I'm doing is picking his arm up here. Right? Right? You want to talk to me? Yeah. That's illegal as the day is long in wrestling, but no one knows it, including the referee. The only one that knows it is him. Lock and lift. His arm's going to pop off like a leg on Thanksgiving turkey. I mean, that thing's coming off.
It's illegal because of the shoulder.
Because of the shoulder. But it doesn't look bad. And no one knows it's illegal. It doesn't look at something that looks, you know, it just looks perfectly normal. But it is illegal, technically. But it's legal otherwise. So anytime you hear the head lock and he locks his hands around you, underneath here, lock your hands and just lift up. Now, what I don't want you to do is I can get the same thing accomplished by pushing with my feet to here. Now his elbows point straight at 12 o'clock. There's no pain here. Don't push into him. Just lift your arm. Just do that. Here, here. Right now, he just wants to lay his shoulders down real quick. Let me have the pin. Legal discomfort, temporary pain. Okay, right? Yeah. Okay, step 2. Head lock here. Sometimes they'll take this free hand and they'll try to push your head back. You know, that idea. You know, and get some pressure on you there. When he starts pushing away, the hand he's pushing is typically this one. Or whatever. From here, fork your thumb away from your index finger and catch the arm right below the elbow, right here. Okay, and we're going to push this arm across, you know, get your hands on my face. Get your hand off of my face. Get your hand off of my face. And you push his arm across his face. Okay? Returning a good deed. All right, now where my hand is here, I take where my neck and shoulder come together, right here. I put that where my hand is. I trade it off. And I get my hand out of there. Hold it here for a second. Lower my head down to that same location. Let it slip off. So now my neck is holding that arm in the same location. Then I quietly say to him, take your last breath. When you lock your hands here, he is no longer breathing. I mean, you know, you can see his mouth, his nose, and one on his throat. But I'm coming in from the side. I'm cutting out his carotid artery. His breathing from the pinching on his. See, if I'm choking in here like this, down the front, you feel that choking sensation. You come in from the side, you don't realize you're in trouble. There's no choking sensation, but you're cutting off the blood flow to the brain, you're cutting off the oxygen supply to the lungs. You're pinching it to the side, but you don't have that choke reflex. So you don't realize you're in trouble. You know, until you are, also you go, I can't breathe. You know, shoulders get down real quick. So they push on your face, hand across, lower your hand down, lock your hand. Okay? See, it doesn't look that bad. And at this point, the ref's down here, looking under here, and I'm just, you know, he can't even, even if he passes out, no one knows it. Because his head's up, and normally if you go on his head, it's like this.
Except for you.
Down the mat, you can see him drop, After when he drops, geez, okay? Sorry. Okay, so, going down to the knees, here, okay, straighten your arm, drive into him, and don't come in with your legs. I'm carrying my weight. He's not. Keep your legs glued where they are and drive into him here. As soon as I got off my knees, all my weight transferred onto him. And then down he went. Sit here. Now, locks, you lock here, lock your hands, crunchy. You push it on your face, cross, lock your hands. If you want, you can make a fist with a hand that's around the head, and you put it in the armpit on this side. You do this. Fist around in the armpit. So over here, fist around in his armpit. Take the other hand underneath at his elbow, catch it, and come up on top of his head. Another tap out. Or, I want to lay my shoulders down quick. Okay. Fist in the armpit, under the arm, over the head. The key is getting your weight transferred onto him and doing a little bit of a corkscrew action, which twists him and makes him lose his back balance, and off he goes a little back. You're going to do this. So you're like this. All your weight, feet are here, and your weight's right here. That weight, don't do this. Don't put your knee down. Keep it up. As soon as you pick your leg up, all your weight gets on it. And then when you're pulling that arm, over he goes. Yeah. As soon as his head comes up over there, and I start coming in, my shoulder catches his head. I just see his head that much up. Then when I drive. So again, as soon as his head comes up, and it's my feet haven't moved. Glue them down and nail them down. From here. If I have to put my head on the mat, put control here. Don't come up here. I'll put my head down here. Sooner or later, he's not going to like this position. His coach is going to say, get your head up! He'll go, oh yeah. Yeah, thank you. His head's going, you've been trying to get your head up. It's just instinctive you're going to bring your head up. So you pull it down, as soon as it starts coming up, it goes from here to here. Just far. Okay. Then when you drive in, you're going to catch his head. Full speed for me is slow. Getting them down and so on until I attack. It's that, bam! It's, same thing. This is a hit. Now I'm cutting them off here. See the space is changing? Headlocks, if I lock my hands here, it's two skinny arms trying to hurt him. Here, it's a skinny arm and a lot stronger leg hurting him. And now I have a free hand. If it starts to roll through, post, here, hand off my wrist. There's my MMA. Okay. I like this. If it's like fight off anything, if he's starting to bring his legs around, bring his leg, hook his leg in. Okay, good. Okay, get again. No. Okay. No. I got a free leg. No, you don't get that shit. So if he goes, okay, boom, I'm going to lock my hands and bear it. Nope, sorry, Charlie. He's not trying now. He's keeping his arms straight. Well, when he decides he's going to roll me, he's going to bend down, and I'm going to get that elbow. And then it's going to go here.
What do you do to straighten his arms?
What do you do when he straightens his arm?
He never does. They never will. They can't do anything with their arms straight. The only reason he'd do that is the bear hug. He'd pull me in tight to roll me through. The more he pulls me in, the more he gets his right angle. You know, now he'd counter my move, but he'd stay on his back for the rest of the match. He's got to decide, you know, he wants to do something. They never think of doing that. They can't wait to lock and squeeze and start. Ooh, ooh. You know. Now I'm ready to push that across his face. If he puts anything on it, of course he knows not to do that now. You know, it's one of those, I've caught all three. You know, so now.
Why, right now?
Well, it's in here. Maybe we should put, you know, a piece of athletic tape somewhere on the mat. You know,
In a match, yes, right.
match. And then drag him over there on the pin, on the X. And then jack him up on the X. Well, I figured, I got the idea from, I loved Ali. He had some great stuff. Well, Babe Ruth could go, and point to where it's going to go. Ali could go in 7. You know, one. Oh my goodness. I can pick a spot too. You know, just hope I'm not the one caught on it. But it was only once, and but the story grew. You know, as the story of the fish that got away gains a pound an inch every time you tell the story. It was my 100th college pin, so we did something unique with the 100th. And my coach was conservative. You know, if he ever said the word shit, you know, he was serious about something. You know, he was very conservative and a great man to this day. He's still a great man. He's the most powerful man in the NCAA right now, and he has been for 25 years in wrestling. Bob Love, and the Bob Love Coaching Excellence Award, the #1 college coach every year gets the Bob Love Award. That was my college coach, and great man, very conservative. You know, excellent on the mat, and so I go out to wrestle. Everybody in the place knows it except him. You know, fans know about it. You know, the kids know about it. Everyone didn't know what's going to tell Bob about it. No, we're not telling him shit. You know, so he's sitting there. You know, and then as the story goes, I don't see it. The sister goes, went, you know, you can see Bob. He looks out. There's this piece of athletic tape in the back. So I get this kid in the cradle. I'm dragging him over the edge, you know. And it's like every inch I get, the crowd gets loud because they know what's coming. So I get right to the edge, right where he's at, and jack him up on his shoulders, and you know, on white athletic tape, it comes up so quickly on the mat. So his body slid across the tape and rolled up. So when he gets up, this rolled up stick is stuck on the back of his neck, you know. So now he walks off with this rolled up X on the back of his neck, you know. And it was my 100th college pins. They stopped the match, dual beat in the middle. And ladies and gentlemen, the first time in the history of NCAAs anyone has ever reached the plateau of 100 college pins. You know, You know, so I got some standing ovation type stuff. You know, some standing here. Coach Bub's out there. You know, no, stay here, wait. What? I didn't know what they were planning. I said, no, stay here. And then he made me announce it. There we go. You know, and he goes, what the hell was that X doing on that? I'm going, what X? You know damn well what X, the one that's right over. It's gone. You know? I don't see next, you see next? You know? Shut up. Okay. You know, what X? I don't see next, you see next? Something backwards in that. Sorry. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get both my heels at his hanging downs. You know, so when I step into the legs here, I just come right here, so my heels are right in his hanging downs. Hanging downs. Well, you can call them something else if you want. All right. Now from here, what I'm trying to do, whether we're here or otherwise, I'm trying to get him down. So I'll put the other leg in. Once I swing my legs here, see my heels are still at his hanging downs. My legs are not committed deep into the guy. And most of you won't be able to, your flexibility has waned a little bit over the years, and so is mine. And that getting the leg in becomes difficult. This is easy to do. Now he is the concrete slab that a diving board is attached to. The diving board goes out over the water. And this big slab is holding it down. So my legs are screwed into the slab, and my body is the diving board. And I'm over the water here. So what I want to be is I want to straighten my legs, and I want to be that diving board out over the water. My thing versus his things are here between his shoulder blades. I want him on the back of his head here. I don't want to have head to head, chest to chest, hip to hip, butt to butt. I lean forward so I get my thing up here on his shoulder blades. Now all my weight's out over him, and I can feel him now start to quiver a little bit. I've got so much weight on him here. So what I try to do when I ride is I try to get up that way. Now, we talked earlier about how do I get a bar arm or chicken wing on. I lean to one side. I isolate one arm so he can only move the other. I don't want to find out he's moving left or right. I want to tell you which one he's moving with. So when we get our legs in here, I'm going to turn to my side. I'm going to isolate his shoulder. Once I drop my hip on this shoulder, that isolates that shoulder so he can't move it. There. Now, he's not getting up with that arm. So I'm off to the side, so that pressure on him. Now, he knows he can move, but there's only one thing he's moving. Okay, that's his left arm, and I'm left dominant, so I want to be on the right side. So I can use my left arm when I'm left dominant. Hopefully he's right dominant. That's my strength versus their weakness, but I don't care. So I get my weight over here, and I just wait for that to move. Get up. There you go. See what he's done? He's starting to get up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch that arm here. All I'm doing from here, back here. This one. There you go. Okay. As soon as he gets his arm just to there, that's all I'm looking for. As soon as he starts to put it down, walk, pull it forward. I want this arm to be pointing straight up. This arm I don't care about. This forearm. This part I do. As soon as I get it pointing this way, then I'm going to lift it straight up, 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 up. Right now, he's about ready to scream. So when I get to here, I arch it up. See, my hips are coming down into him, and this is coming up. Right now, he's hurt. Is this my idea? Yeah. Now, I'm going to straighten this arm like a karate chop.
Roll.
Watch my hand.
Roll, roll, roll.
No, I don't let him roll. With the legs in, I don't want him to roll. I want to wring him out like a dish rag. If I held him there for 2, 3, 5 seconds and didn't turn him, and kept my leg in, and not allowed him to turn, that 5 seconds makes a difference in him winning or losing. I'm going to fight you, or to hell with it, I'm quitting. He was getting into the I quit scenario. Fine with me. So now when I take him over, he's mine because he's already quit, because I wrung him out. Okay? So the heel's in. There you go. So they get out to the side. I've already got him now. Doesn't matter how he wants it. As soon as he has an arm there, boom. I'm hitting the arm. I can catch it here. I can go under here. But I'm not in here. No. Yes. Yes. Yes! Out here. Boom. Once it comes forward, now I'm up. From the hips, I'm raising up with this hand. Then I'm making go straight my arm here. Straight that arm. I'm not turning it. I'm keeping this leg in over here, listen. When I knock this leg out, then he can turn and not until. I'm going to make him quit. Then I'll let the head leg come out, and I'll start coming over and slip it into the half melt. I got his wrist here as well. Yeah, then I'll put a double half on him. A double half is I have a half Nelson on him, and his arm is up here. So I grab it, and I let him put a half Nelson on himself. He's got a half Nelson on himself. So I had a half on. I pull his arm down, and then I lock on his wrist. So I have a half Nelson, he has a half Nelson. It's double half. And take him on over. So, if we can do that with the legs, if you just have a regular, what's the counter to half Nelson? What do you teach? Look away and peel it off. Everyone teaches that. I put a half on, he looks up, peels off, takes it off. Right? Here, he reaches up. No. He wants my wrist, I take his. Okay? And then I just pull his arm. Right now he's going, now how the hell did I get stuck here? Okay? I can pull him over, just pull the arm and take him over, or I can go to a double half. Every count, you know, the count of the half Nelson, everybody you wrestle, they're going to reach up and kill it up. Grab it, change it. Not only do you have a half Nelson now, he's going, wait, something gets stuck here. Now he's going over. Okay, so you take a half, turn it to a double half. Here, put both legs in and just lean forward here. That puts all the weight forward. If I want to bump his arms out from underneath, boom, he'll come down. And right from here, I'm just looking for a wrist, or an arm. I like the left side. I always use the left side, but that's because I'm left dominant. So I turn my right hip down, pinches off that right shoulder. Now I'm just waiting for that arm to move. He's going to move it in a second. He's going to try to get up. Lift it. Then I got it forward. Once I have it forward, then I'm going to lift it up. As I take my hips into them, my hips come down into them, and I'm marching like this. But I'm keeping the arm tied to my chest and doing the same thing. As I arch up, keeping the arm to my chest. Is I'm taking it easy on you know, the idea. Once I get him up to here, and I put a half, then I turn it into a half Nelson. Okay, and then I slowly let him out and swivel my hips. See how I'm swiveling my hips? And I stay on top of him. It keeps the pressure on his side and up. So that's what we do. Then a half Nelson. Anytime anytime he puts his hand back here,
That's okay
peel it up.
High school wrestling. That's okay for high school wrestling.
Again, what wrestling is and refereeing is what does the referee see? You know, I can do the very same thing and do the exact same thing and go, you know, and that alone is going to call a penalty. It looks like I'm a sick puppy. You know, he's hurting the kid. Instead of just, you know, it's what does your face look like? It's, yes, I'm lying, or no, I'm not lying. You know, you can read. I watch them. When I'm looking, is that a takedown or not a takedown? I can see it in the bottom guy's eyes. Some people on their back in an elevator going, take this son of a bitch over, watch this. I can see in his eyes that other people go, that's a takedown. I can see the guy in the bottom going, like hell it is, watch this. You know, I can see in his face that, you know, he's still hasn't lost control, and he's going to get control here in a second. So I'll go, okay, I'm going to hold this for a minute. Okay, I'll give you a chance to see if I can make that elevator work, because I can see it in your face. Or, you know, I'm down, I'm on my ass, he's got a double leg on me, I'm reaching over the crotch, and I'm trying to take him over. It's a difference between tightening over and one. You're looking up at the referee. As soon as the kid on the bottom's looks up at you, you know, please look home too. You know, instead of, don't worry about it, I'm not here. You know, you can read the impression of whether he's in trouble or, you know, just, hey, give me a second, I'll be out of there, watch this. You know, it's one of those. So what's legal and illegal? It's the appearance of legality. There are certain things that are illegal. It's just you clearly know what happened. You picked it up, boom, slam. That's it. I don't care what you look like in the face. That was a slam.